Step 2. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Goal: recognizing the different ways trauma responses manifest in daily life. Lesson: defining the four main trauma responses. Fight: anger, defensiveness, need for control. The fight response happens when trauma makes a person feel they must defend themselves at all costs. This can show up as anger, irritability, aggression, or a strong need for control. In relationships, it can lead to frequent arguments, difficulty trusting others, or dominating conversations. At work, it may manifest as perfectionism, competitiveness, or frustration with authority. Those stuck in this response may view the world as hostile, always feeling the need to protect themselves. Flight, avoidance, overworking, perfectionism. The flight response is about escaping perceived danger, either physically or emotionally. Instead of facing painful emotions, a person might stay excessively busy, overwork, or become a perfectionist to avoid feeling vulnerable. In relationships, this can look like emotionally withdrawing, ghosting, or struggling with commitment. At work, it can mean constantly chasing achievement to feel safe. This response can make someone feel like they're never doing enough and always running from discomfort. Freeze, numbness, dissociation, feeling stuck. The freeze response causes a person to mentally or physically shut down in response to stress. This can lead to emotional numbness, dissociation, feeling disconnected from reality, procrastination, or difficulty making decisions. In relationships, they may feel paralyzed when conflict arises, avoiding communication or struggling to express their needs. At work, they may feel stuck, unable to take action or move forward in their career. This response often stems from feeling powerless in past traumatic situations. Fawn, people-pleasing, codependency, inability to set boundaries. The fawn response develops when a person copes with trauma by prioritizing others' needs over their own to avoid conflict. This results in people-pleasing, codependency, difficulty saying no, and an extreme fear of disappointing others. In relationships, fawn types may tolerate mistreatment, avoid expressing their own needs, or seek constant approval. At work, they might overextend themselves, take on too much responsibility, or struggle with imposter syndrome. Over time, this response leads to exhaustion and resentment, as their own needs go unmet. How these responses show up in relationships, work, and self-perception. In relationships, fight types may dominate, flight types may avoid, freeze types may withdraw, and fawn types may over-accommodate. At work, fight types may push for control, flight types may overwork, freeze types may procrastinate, and fawn types may struggle with boundaries. In self-perception, fight types may see themselves as strong but struggle with vulnerability, flight types may define themselves by achievements, freeze types may feel stuck and powerless, and fawn types may struggle with self-worth. Reflection. Questions. 1. Which of these trauma responses do I recognize in myself? 2. How have these responses shaped my relationships and decision-making? 3. What small changes can I make to respond rather than react? Accountability. Checkpoint. Identify your primary trauma response and one situation where it tends to appear. Revisit in Stage 4 to evaluate if your responses have changed. Journal exercise. Trauma responses: fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Identify which response you default to in stress. Write about a situation where this response showed up and how it affected you. Which trauma response do I use most often? Why? How has this response helped me in the past? How has it hurt me? What healthier coping mechanisms can I develop?